It is time to move into champ select, guys, for Invictus Gaming.
야, 베이가를 먼저 귀찮아서 이거 돌진 조합도 할 수 있다라는 뜻이죠. 어떻게 보면 또.
More telling of what happens, but they gave away strategy. They said they would blind pick Veigar going into the match against AHQ,
unless it was the ultimate mind game.
That's all it is, man.
Very clearly they don't want to pick that champion. Yeah.
Alistar, the other ban for IG. Meanwhile, Gangplank, Lulu, and Mordekaiser banned out by Cloud9, and that will lead to a Gragas first pick for IG.
Yeah, just hopefully a more aggressive champion here for Kakao. The Sightstone Rush Skarner doing less than 1,000 damage was not his best debut on the world stage after being so close so many times.
The weakest jungle performance we've seen in a very, very long time, all summer, in fact, if we go by champion damage.
Yeah, and again, it also thematically didn't fit the style of the match. That match required an aggressive early game.
탑 일단 다 살았죠.
Actually can get away with it against Cloud9 because High doesn't seem to be, as punishable as jungle, but at the same time, Kakao should be actually be able to invade, so that is the merit of an aggressive jungler here.
And I think what this also means, since it's been picked so early, is that Cloud9 better be matching with an aggressive jungler of their own. High did play Lee Sin. I actually wouldn't be too surprised if he ended up playing it again, because again, an early Darius pick. Will Cloud9 be able to play around this with enabling champions and jungle pick?
다리 상대로 나르.
It's been punished so hard now by so many teams. It's won very few games. It's lost
다리우스가 뚜벅이기 때문에 가능하죠.
The Gnar matchup is just growing.
Oh.
Initially, I thought,
Bard. Whoa, there's the Bard.
Hang on, boys.
Bard.
All right.
Capo's been talking about Bard
non-stop. To the annoyance of many of my casters, I've actually been banned of the caster prep room. They're talking too much about
Hey,
Bard.
I don't mind.
That's actually
I could probably talk about Bard at this point.
바드도 많이 쓰여요.
But I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I'll get back to Bard once we see these compositions.
Are you sure? It's right
layout. Bard is just a fantastic pick. I'll need to see what enemy mid laners play. I think Bard punishes enemy mid laners that are low mobility incredibly well. Let's see Cloud9 if they fall into that trap. But overall, just to finish and round out the point of the Gnar, I've just really been enjoying that matchup with the Frozen Mallet, kiting here. The Darius, in addition to that, Bard kites incredibly well.
앨리스가 살아있는데 그냥 무난하게 앨리스가 또 괜찮거든요. 사실 이 정도면은.
Walk backwards, that Q. It can get denied by Braum Shield. That is one of the better matchups because Bard Q is obviously two parts.
정글보다 이제 원딜이 문제지.
Or a player or a wall behind the target. Braum Shield denies that, but overall. Can punish at least.
트리스타나.
Hit at least so many outplay potential.
트리스타나 다리우스라는 거는 이거는 라인 클리어링을 조금 해야 되기 때문에 또 아지르, 빅토르에 좀 기댈 수밖에 없게 되거든요. 근데 상대방이 시비르에다가 그라가스, 나르 이런 게 있기 때문에 완전히 그냥 기동력 알지.
Twisted Fate Bard is like one of the classic things that everyone expected to be played with Bard when Twisted Fate came in. The synergy of the TF ultimate as well as the Bard ultimate just comboing with each other to cut off zones of escape.
스펠을 고르면은 사실 피즈 고르면은 한타는 진짜 셀 것 같은데 스플릿 푸시도 세고.
No team fight value out of a TF ulti. Obviously since it doesn't matter at all because he's always there. Bard really wants to make picks too with his ultimate. So very pick oriented. Kind of from Invictus Gaming wants to split up and then flank with the Gnar potentially later. But we're still looking
돌진 조합 역시.
on their mid laner, and wave clear mid laners generally do get punished by compositions like this. TF can port in if he gets picked, but he wasn't picked. Obviously, Echo can snipe with power.
상대가 돌진 조합이기 때문에 이건 받아치는 조합을 해야 될 것 같아요. 조합상.
For Cloud9 to consider as they figure out what Incarnation is going to bring to the mid lane.
Maybe Victor. Thinking about that.
Yeah, for the most part, Incarnation has been playing fairly standard picks during the end of the regular season.
빅토르보다는 이동기 있는 게 나아 보이거든요.
Victor is also good.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I think he will go for Orianna here.
이게 바드 궁 때문에 빅토르 하면은 되게 좀 애매한데.
Well, I mean, command protect.
아지르 역시. 빅토르 하면은 바드 이니시에이팅이 너무 취약해가지고. 인카네이션이 아지르를 잘하기도 하고.
Cloud9's definitely going to be wanting to take down a lot of early turrets, and IG is going to be playing a fairly early game focused strategy as well.
Tempered Fate just offers you so many different play patterns that are just not common to be seen at all just in regular play. The fact that you can make a tower invulnerable, you can make minions invulnerable, suddenly switching tower aggro, you can dive in completely different situations. 2v1 diving is incredibly risky. 2v1 diving with Bard up eliminates the tower. You're just 2v1ing somebody at that point. So it just unlocks a couple of really nice new play patterns, especially when you're running a very pick-oriented composition. IG will have to be careful though once they group up, because a lot of these compositions that do fairly well in split modes, 1-3-1, do have a lot of downsides when it comes to team fighting.
Either way, guys, we are in for a magical journey as we move into Invictus Gaming versus Cloud9. Oh, you know it is. You know it's going to be a magical journey. Don't you, Jad?
That is the best named skill I think we have ever had in League of Legends.
It is.
Finalis Vulcan.
No. Yeah, sorry. It's not even called that anymore, Crepo. You're vetoed. I apologize.
There are now 300 really angry people that Crepo just reminded of a name change.
It's out there. It's out there. Hashtag IG win if you think Invictus Gaming is going to take it, guys, or hashtag C9 win if you think the NA squad has got what it takes to win this game as we move on to Summoner's Rift. Such an exciting matchup. Cloud9, the improbable team, against a Chinese team that people, again, I feel like we're saying this a lot about Chinese teams, we're expecting a lot more from. Let's get on to the Rift.
Listen, coming into this World Championship, China was seen by most as the best region as far as overall strength sent to Worlds here, and we're in day 3. Currently, the only teams that a Chinese team has beaten was one game.
자, 일단 조합으로 보자라면은 탑 나르 대 다리우스. 나르가 조금 더 주도권 가지고 게임을 할 수가 있고요. 그라가스 대 앨리스 같은 경우에 비슷하게 할 수가 있고, 에코 대 아지르 같은 경우에는 아지르가 미친듯이 라인을 푸시한 다음에 에코가 라인 클리어링 하다가 그라가스가 올 때 배치기 전멸 갱 오는 거를 얼마나 잘 맞받아치느냐 싸움이 될 것 같고, 바텀 같은 경우에는 11 대 바드기 때문에 아무래도 11의 바드가 조금은 더 주도권을 가지고 싸울 수가 있죠.
Being matched at the other side, pretty standard here. Overall, the way this vision is going to pan out. Let's see where the lanes end up, though.
Yeah, pretty normal deep wards coming in from both teams. Looks like we're not going to see any big level 1 brawl like we saw so much of yesterday.
Yeah, even a mid lane ward placed by
볼즈가, 그러니까 저는 C9이랑 같이 있었던 게 아니고 CLC 프나틱이랑 같이 살았잖아요. 그 뭐야, 그냥 있는데 갑자기 하샤시 저한테 한국에서 다이아이로 떨어지는 게 프로게이머 입장에서 대단히 심각한 거냐고 묻더라고 갑자기. 응? 그러니까 저는 지금 한국 솔랭이 약간 어뷰징도 좀 많이 있고, 그리고 또 뭐야, 지금 컴퓨터랑 우리가 좀 싸우고 있잖아요. 다이아 1 이상이신 분들 특히. 그래서 좀 떨어질 수도 있다라고 약간 생각하고 있는 편인데, 약간 이게 들어보니까 볼즈가 다이아 2로 떨어져서 약간 굉장히 낙심을 했더라고. 보니까는 아, 내가 그래도 북미에서 좀 하는 편인데 한국에서 다이아 1도 못 유지하고 떨어진다니. 근데 보면은 지금 챌린저 800점인 애들이 다이아 1 뚫기가 대단히 어려워요. 지금 마스터 가기가 꽤 빡세요 거기가 지금. 챌린저 애들도. 그래서 아니 원래 그럴 수도 있다고. 그런데 냉정히 말해서 롤드컵급 탑라이너가 되려면은 솔직히 좀 점수를 높아야 된다. 특히 미드 원딜 탑은 정글 서포트 조금 낮아도 돼. 근데 원딜 미드 탑은 높아야 돼요.
Rookie is a tremendous player. He's probably going to be looking to play quite aggressive in this game if wards are permitted.
Look at what Kana is doing.
올라가는 사람들 그걸 뚫고 올라가요 다.
From their AD carry out or sneaking the top lane. If IG realizes they can send their top laner top, who soaks so much farm.
The exact play right here would be Zatai teleporting top lane and then still trying to zone up, but they need all 4 people down here because they're trying to keep balls off the turret. Lemon Nation was also given solo experience on Grom, so he is a level 2 Braum, slightly stronger when they're rotating him around the map. But now
아, 아이디 일단 시작 좋죠.
they still might be able to hold the zone with
경험치적으로.
Look where their jungler is. Their jungler is at Krugs right now, so high completely at the other side of the map. Balls
되게 귀찮게 하네.
but he has to share experience with Lemon Nation. Whereas on the top lane, Zitai is ranged, can farm well against Tristana when the wave is under his tower. Tristana, I think, already skilled E2, so will be continuously pushing in.
Elimination trying to harass a little bit as IG tries to go for this blue buff steal. Looks like they'll be able to get it though. C9 getting pushed around a bit on the map early on.
자, 보시다시피 아지르가 미친듯이 창으로 찌르고 있는 와중에 그라가스가 긴 킥을 미드로 얼마나 잘 가서 풀어주느냐 이런 싸움이 될 텐데,
honestly,
루키가
it's not
결국에는
that different
텔포를
from how
이용해가지고
Cloud9
한번 집에 갔다 와야 될 것
played during the
같아요.
regular season. When he came in as a jungler, he was very
아이고,
farm heavy.
한번
A lot of that
꼬였다.
had to do with picking Sated Devour multiple times, but he transitions that playstyle to a few other things. High will do things that other junglers just simply do not do.
Like play a Mumu.
Or Kha'Zix.
That does happen.
Or win on Rengar.
All of these things other junglers don't really do right now.
Yeah, because the lane swap played out the way it did though, Incarnation had free reign to just constantly shove in mid, put some pressure on Rookie's Echo here. Tai even went to the flank there to get him down, but Z-Tai, he is comfortably farming in this lane, whereas Darius has a hard time farming, especially with a melee support helping him against double range like a Bard. Eat one double stun and you get punished incredibly hard, so Balls will have some trouble here.
What's most interesting to me about this is the Balls lane with Lemonation is probably the most common thing for Cloud9 to happen. All the way back, even in 2014, this was an incredibly common lane setup. Even the championship against TSM in 2014, almost every game, Sneaky was solo laning top on Tristana or Corki.
The problem with that lane strategy is though that Tristana just almost automatically shoves the lane if she skills her E, so much farm gets funneled into Z-Tai, whereas wave management is paramount to making that top lane work.
피했어 인카네이션.
Rookie here though.
Yeah, look at this. Incarnation certainly winning the
아프다 진짜 아프다.
takes a ton of damage. Hasn't had to use that flash yet, but you know.
소라카 글쎄요. 챔피언은 다 좋아서 요새.
Incarnation really putting that extra damage to good use.
It took Incarnation a little while to get settled in the mid lane since he just started playing professionally this summer split.
Definitely.
But particularly since High came back in.
바텀 킹각 나왔죠?
And all the hype that was coming into the season from Incarnation is
근데
realized in a lot of
미리 잘
games,
뺐네.
come later in the summer split and specifically early on here at Worlds.
It's actually fun to see him perform on control mages because mainly when he came into C9, he was an assassin player. Everybody expected him to play assassins at Worlds. Now he's picking Azir and doing well so far.
He's also in a super dangerous place right now because Kakao is in his own
돌아왔네요.
jungle. At least he has some help from High on his own side.
Yeah, it's true. Still has that flash, still has that barrier in case worst case scenario happens.
Z-Tai is already a full level ahead of Balls, so we need to see C9 punish somewhere or use the advantage.
그래도 인카네이션이 라인전 정말 뭐라 그럴까 준석이 잘해주네 이 정도면은.
Before the game, and all the teams have been picking Darius. They're giving him pick priority, but they're not.
자 이거 미드 긴각 슬슬 나올 수 있거든요. 그라가스 통해서.
Not due to their own choice, but due to team choices. It's not like he's losing the first levels 1 to 5. He is level 5 when the opponent is level 6. In this game, it's level 6 to level 4 by the
다이브. 자 다리우스가 아직 4레벨이기 때문에 와 대박. 잘 쐈죠. 분노 타워 쳐가지고 분노 쌓은 다음에 찌따이가 먼저 궁극기로 쓴 다음에 좋고요. 전멸을 조금 흡수하면서 미리 썼어야 했는데 망했네요. 이거 탑라이너 레벨 차이 너무 많이 나겠다 이거 이제는.
He tried to predict a drive, but he got caught by the very end of it and still ended up stunning on the turret. That really hurts him because he lost the wave. Cloud9 almost has to counter, but it's pretty hard to dive here. 3v2 instead of a straight 2v1.
Balls does have teleport from base. He almost has to go for it.
자 여기서 성공 못 시키면 안 돼. 나르테프 아직 있거든요. 나르테프 오기 전에 잡으려는 거예요. C9도 깔끔하죠. 맞았어 근데. 네. 루키 대박. 루키. 근데 C9이 할 수 있는 최선의 플레이를 잘해줬어요 방금 거는.
Got the double teleport, but none of this changes the fact that Balls is still 2 levels behind Zatai, and it's not necessarily to his own fault. It's the team not having priority.
뭐야 이거?
Similar thing happened in their first game against AHQ, where they put him in the lane far behind.
And that's also the nature of the game. Bot lanes can play from behind much more easily than top laners because especially Darius, indeed, because 2v2 you can be behind.
근데 이게 근본적으로 돈 차이는 얼마 안 나긴 하지만 탑라이너 앞으로 이제 봤을 때 레벨 격차도 꽤 많이 나고 지금 6레벨 대 4레벨이거든요. 요즘 탑라이너들 간의 차이가 난다라는 거는 나중에 스플릿 푸시 구도로 가게 됐을 때 나르랑 에코가 그 바텀이랑 탑을 동시에 밀 거거든요. 그렇게 됐을 때는 대처기가 아무래도 C9이 좀 어려워지고 나중에 운영적인 요소에서 C9이 점점 말리다가 결국에는 뭐 탑이 끊긴다거나. 어우, 아이고 미니언이 살려줬다. 왜?
bit of minion tanking
오.
helping out there. Oh, the Q
오.
flash cocoon misses Z-Tai. He's gonna back away.
좀 침착하게 쓰지
Hell
코콘을.
coming in. Can they catch him?
아쉽네요.
Z-Tai, no flash.
충분히 잡을 수 있었던 건데.
He's gonna get away.
아, 루키 좋고요.
Does not hit rookie
잘한다.
somehow, some way. No kills.
지금 이렇게 들게 해주는 게 플라스크이기 때문에 간단
간단할
할 수 있는 거죠. 아, 볼즈가 어쨌건 간에 계속 턴을 좀 많이 뺏기네요.
Minion tanking that house for balls. Very nice. Honestly, though, IG, the mid lane rookie has been getting beaten on CS. It's somewhat expected for an Echo burst in Aziri, itemizing defensively, and he's starting to make some really aggressive moves. The fact that there's been very little jungle priority on that mid lane, rookie is trying to take advantage of. So many of these aggressive plays that he's doing just to stay close to Incarnation could actually be punished by High camping for a game.
And Kid they're fine playing this lane slightly from behind. Bard obviously with those health packs gives you plenty of sustain if you don't get all in. Just over time you can spam health packs in lane, then you back off when you have 4 or 5 chimes, you take them and they go incredibly quick because each chime gives you additional movement speed out of combat.
Right.
You come back to lane, sustain up again. Sivir with spell shield doesn't get punished, so Cloud9 where they're ahead in experience can't punish.
이게 탑이 근본적으로 안 풀리면 어렵거든요. 근데
They're looking for another dive.
Oh, more action down the mid lane. The duel continues. Incarnation taking quite a bit. Still has that barrier.
아, 미리 양쪽 다 아주 치열하네.
Stun onto Incarnation, could be in trouble. Again, he pops
와,
up.
대박 루키.
Oh, and Rookie takes the 1v1 duel.
Such aggression
뿌려놓고
by Rookie,
궁극기로
flashing
되돌아가서
offensively, ulting offensively, dashing
잘
offensively.
가시고.
There's no counter to that, and Incarnation finally falls to his aggression.
That ball's in a bit of trouble too. Cacao comes in. Nice ultimate. Pushes balls back. Doesn't have
어,
the flash
미니언이
healing.
가려가지고.
Can they catch him? Z-Tai hopping in off his lane friend.
아이고야.
But balls
안타깝네요.
goes down anyway. Didn't get the heal off that Q. Need elimination.
씹혔죠?
Throws the ult down. Kid blocks it with the spell.
잡고 점프로 도망가려 그랬는데
Coming in, can't save the AD carry. Rookie coming from the mid lane. Could get
욕심 내지 않고 하나만 좋고요, 루키.
Sneaky has to flee.
A series of unfortunate events for Cloud9.
아, 근데 개인기로 이겨버리네 그냥 이게. 아까 그 탑에서 일단 다이브가 일단 시작이었죠. 라인 사업 통해 가지고
We know how
뭐 상대방이 라인 사업을 했는데 오히려 이득을 봐가지고.
Cloud9 has to be terrified.
But just look at the bravado from Rookie in that mid lane.
그러니까 그게 아까 처음에 그 경험치 못 먹게 했던 그 스놀부터 시작이 된 거예요 결국에는.
So aggressively high. His top lane
아이즈가 먼저 정글 장악한 이후에 다리우스가 경험치 못 먹게 디나를 시켜놨고, 그리고 급한 트리스타나가 라인을 밀기 시작하니까는 나르가 혼자 텔프 타가가지고 나르는 경험치를 온전히 다 먹고, 이것 때문에 경험치 차이가 나가지고 다리우스 나르는 6레벨이 됐는데 다리우스는 4레벨 될 때 탑에 도착했잖아요. 거기부터 시작이 된 거죠.
All the things just went for IG that it's only that much of a gold league, but the ultimate to kind of start this thing off, not even to save time for the teleport, and it baits Sneaky into going aggressive, but they're against a double teleport team. They don't respect the teleport. A rookie coming in, it's countered, he picks up an easy kill, and Sneaky has to fall away. And that's specifically what Cloud9 has been playing their early game around, is getting Sneaky ahead in the lane. Luckily, he didn't die, but it still gets rid of some of their advantages.
Elimination really doing work to at least keep his AD carry alive by slowing down Rookie.
Yeah, but also in that top lane, we
어,
talked about
반피가
experience,
했어,
also
그냥.
CS, Rookie and Incarnation still duking it out here, but Ball's trailing behind half the CS of his lane opponent. This is one of the largest gold disparity or CS disparities at 10 minutes that we've seen this entire tournament. Ball's really getting the worst end of that champion trade.
Rookie comes in again. The cocoon gets thrown out. Doesn't work. Emperor's Divide pushes Rookie back. Just ults to his former self and escapes.
근데 11위가 너무 밀리는데 이거는.
Bot lane C9.
11위가 한번 킬을 주고 시작을 해가지고 라인이 밀리고 있을 때
Been winning that lane pretty
C9이 생각보다 단단해요.
Cloud9's team composition wants to work. Triss takes turrets, Azir takes turrets. They need pressure. The way IG stops it is if they force fights with Echo. That is the matchup, and that's the make or break point in this game.
I nearly got bounced back under turret.
근데 어쨌건 간에 이거는 이제 그냥 무난하게 간다라고 쳤을 때 핵심은 한타에서 아지르랑 브라움이랑 앞에 몸빵하고 있는 친구들이 많이 있는데 그거를 뚫을 수 있느냐, 결국 이 싸움이거든요. 에코가 킬을 따긴 했는데 아지르도 어쨌건 CS를 워낙 잘 먹어가지고 에코에 비해서 어디까지나 아직 몰라요.
IG drooping a little bit in that mid lane now.
I think it's time to move Rookie to a side lane. and keep
CS
hitting
차이가
some
바텀에서 많이 나 미드에서 많이 나가지고
It also
바텀이랑
opens up many interesting roam opportunities for
그냥
Bard.
다리우스는 들어가서 뭘 잡지 않아도 돼요.
To bot and top lane, and then just magical journey behind
지키기만 하면 되거든요. 다리우스는. 그러면은 지키는 역할을 할 때는 아이템이라든가 성장이 조금 더뎌도 충분히 자기 기본 파워보다는 훨씬 더 많은 걸 할 수 있고요. 와, 데미지. 자, 11호 없이 에코만의 라인 클리어링으로 이게 얼마나 될지. 그나마 다행인 거는 대포 미니언 타이밍이 아니기 때문에 막는데 문제 자체는 없겠네. 잠깐 큐 쓰지 않았어 근데? 네, 무리할 거 없고. 아, 근데 근본적으로 탑이 문제네. 탑 결국에는 탑만 어떻게 조금 그 스플릿 푸시 우드에서 조금만 풀리면 되겠는데.
Can pretty much take on anybody on that Cloud9 lineup. So grouping is not what IG is necessarily looking for. Flanks, just like you pointed out earlier, that's what they want. Push up the side lanes, then converge on the mid lane. Make Cloud9 confused and just try and snipe sneaky.
Ball's just hit level 8 now. He is so far behind both Rookie and Zitai.
자, 이거 브라움 있는 거 모르거든요. 아, 이제 안 해. 자, 아직 스틸.
Black Cleaver has been completed and then some, whereas Balls is still working on his. Doesn't even have his Kindle gem yet.
북미는 탑인지가 그리 없나? 예, 없어요. 한국이 그리고 탑이 좀 세요. 기본적으로 아시아 지역이 탑이 좀 세가지고.
Maybe we'll see Flame yet at Worlds. He's the sub for LGD.
I think it's time to bring him in, guys. LGD is struggling. Bring Flame in.
Balls is 1,600 gold behind right now. If I did that math correctly. Yeah, over 1,600 gold behind right now.
So that actually means it's incredibly critical that Cloud9 can play around Zatai's teleport timing. As long as Zatai has his teleport timing up, IG can win any fight. But if he ever burns that, the other four members.
지금 보시면 미드도 돈 차이가 아예 안 나죠. 거의 100원밖에 차이가 안 나고. 근데 원딜은 지금 500원이 차이가 나고 탑은 1,800원 나르가 앞서고 있고. 이게 다리우스가 들어가서 뭔가를 해야 되는 조합이면은 저게 굉장히 치명타인데 옆에서 지켜주기만 하더라도 되는 조합이기 때문에 지금 골드 차이는 큰 의미가 없는 것 같아요. 아직까지 한타고드에서 특히.
Make it so that IG has to rotate between the towers and maybe they can find an opening. They're also aggressively taking away a couple of jungle camps, trying to close out that gold advantage. But Zitai in top lane just farming up for free.
Wow.
자, 나르 이거 메가 나르 될 때까지 지금 기다리고 있거든요. IG 일단은. 아, 하이.
Take some map control. C9 do show some mastery of that vision control.
It's good. They're being much more aggressive with the little map advantages that they have.
They're playing very distinctly around the advantages in the mid and bot lane. Those CS advantages are also growing. That's why this gold in the game is still very close. Nashor's Tooth on his ear is a big power spike. Trist with
네, 이번에 싸움이 안 일어났기 때문에 이제 용싸움 가겠네요.
Frequently Sneaky will go Avarice Blade and play a farm game, but he knows it is incredibly important that they can push this edge right now. He did not go Avarice Blade this match.
Cloud9, they can win fights even without boss. So they have two really good team fight damage dealers, and they have a Braum to potentially deny some skill shots, deny some projectiles, soak up some damage. So by no means are they out of it, especially when it comes to team fights. But isolated matchup, that's where IG wants to look at.
So at this point, if you're Balls, do you just go a little bit more tankier, just try to be the guy that soaks some cooldowns and frees some space up for Incarnation and Sneaky to do their thing?
Probably. Yep. You don't want to plan for these situations on Darius. Like the fact that his bleed now does physical damage,
it's not ideal, yeah.
Makes Black Cleaver like such a core item. It's not even funny on him. But at this point, you almost just have to eat your losses and just never catch your Black Cleaver because he really needs to be able to live in this game. He's probably going to help
Black Cleaver a little bit. Yeah. IG pushing down, dragging up in about a minute 20.
자, 이번에는 싸워야 되는데 나르 대 다리우스 입장에서는 서로 안 오는 게 낫고 C9 입장에서는 IG 같은 경우에는 나르의 힘이 좀 필요한 상황이고요. 이거 퀴드 이거는 조금 많이 아픈데요. 궁극기? 돌진 조합에서 11의 궁극기가 당연히 필수인데 그리고 에코가 지금 스플릿 푸시 같거든요 또. 어? 이거 C9이 충분히 이길 수 있거든요. 이런 식으로 하면은.
They're gonna nearly get the turret.
오!
They got the-
키드 저 깜짝 놀랐어. 모르고 있었어. 지금 정신줄 났죠? 자, 11위가 지금 집을 간다라는 거는 용을 C9이 가져온다라는 뜻이고,
The fact the kid has to back here just creates even more pressure. Cloud9 is pushing this. Maybe they can get the teleport out of
라인 클리어링이 11위랑 에코가 같이 가야 되는데 급해요. 급하게 왔어. 전혀 전략적이지 않게 급하게 왔어요. 이거 C9이 이긴다 이제.
Now they can actually play around more strong.
중국 어떡하지?
Four in this game. As long as balls can just live
이거 나를 이거는 전략적으로 온 게 아니고 생각 없이 약간 급하게 온 거예요 그냥. 이거 아까도 말씀드렸지만 조합이 그냥 지키면 이기는 조합이거든요. 지키면 지킬 수 있느냐가 문제일 뿐이지. 다리우스가 들어오는 뭐 나르라던가 저런 애들 데미지를 앞에서 죽어도 돼요. 맞아줄 수만 있으면 돼 그냥. 이거 나르 CS 이러면 또 따라잡히는 것도 있고 경험치도 따라잡히고요. 지금 탑 미는 동안에 C9이 급하지 않게 계속해서 이렇게 대치하고 있는 것도 굉장히 좋고, 이제 탑을 밀었기 때문에 용을 줘도 나쁘지 않아. 욕심 안 내도. 여유 있어요. 그러니까 탑으로 다 갔죠. 영리해 C9. 역시 하이가 온 이후로는 굉장히 약간 상대 입장에서 되게 짜증나는 플레이. 이런 식으로 또 탑라이너들 이거 부술 필요까지 있나? 좀 안 먹힐라나? 안 먹히네. 대박. 엄청 이득 봤죠. 거기다 미드는 수성의 달인 아지르. 미드 줘도 돼 저거는. 완전 이득 봤죠. 근데 이거 줘도 돼요 이제는. 바텀도 트리스타나가 밀고 있고 나쁘지 않은데? 트리스타나 정말 잘 크고 있고요.
If you have one element deported, it's so much easier to get the wards in the other side because you actually have either vision or process of elimination to know roughly where your opponents are. Compare that to the TSM.
그리고 지금 그라가스가 물리 방어템을 우선적으로 지금 갈 수가 없는 상황이 됐기 때문에 지금 사실상 원탱 체제로 가게 될 수밖에 없고 나르. 그러니까 다리우스 역할이 보디가드 역할만 하면 되기 때문에 지금 동격차보다 좀 더 커요. 어떻게 보면 사실. 시야도 먼저 먹으러 왔고 그냥 다 죽더라도 원딜이랑 그 트리스타나랑 아지르를 물려고 들어오는 상대방의 돌진을 브라움이랑 앨리스랑 다리우스가 앞에서 다 막아주기만 하면은 웬만하면 이길 수 있는 그림 나올 수 있을 것 같아. 근데 그게 뚫리면 당연히 C9이 지는 거고.
Gotta say though, disappointed in Kitties. Would like to see some plays with temper. I really think you really haven't been talking about Bard at all.
원래는 그 바텀이랑 탑이랑 양 사이드 스플래시 푸시를 하려고 그랬는데 트리포 하나밖에 없어가지고 그게 안 돼요 이제. 자신감 있고 플레이. 자 아지르 주변에 있어요. 아지르 주변에 있어요. 안 위험해요. 아직. 볼즈 잘 피했고요. 자 끌어들여서만 싸우면 돼요. 끌어들여서 천천히. IG 입장에서는 전멸 뺀데 전멸 다 이거 뺀 거에 의의를 두면 되겠네요. 다음 용 싸움 때 C9 전멸이 다 안 돌아오거든요. 이것도 좋고. 다음 하여간 용 싸움에 C9 전멸이 돌아오지 않기 때문에 딱 되게 영악해 C9. 상대방이 펀치를 날리면은 그거를 살짝 피한 다음에 뭐라 그러지? 블로우 펀치라 그러나? 그런 식으로 약간 옆구리 톡톡 찔러 그냥 계속해서. 상대방이 계속 펀치 날리는데 그냥 슉슉 피해 그게.
Double DCS is we have not seen any other teams be able to play around it. But 2 games now, Cloud9
오, 오히려 오늘 한중전보다도 이게 훨씬 재밌는데요.
No, I was just
경기는.
against AHQ. Balls went into lane at a level down and 20 CS down, and Cloud9 was able to avoid being punished.
I was just thinking balls trained for this in Korea.
I can see why
There
you
you
didn't
go.
say that.
There you go.
이거 중국 팀들 내년에 다 한국으로 전주훈련 와야 되겠는데?
He's come out 10 times stronger. Still slightly abandoned in the early game by his team, but hey,
A diamond in the rough.
he only died twice. It's pretty good.
Hey, I will say, as we have a small lull in the game, of all the NA and EU players that went over to Korea to scrim and play solo queue, Balls put in the most work of any player. He struggled mightily to climb in solo queue. He actually never reached master, but he played over 300 games in the under 1 month boot camp on top of scrims. Over 10 games a day. He was playing out of his mind. So much effort. And
아 근데 그 중심의 하이가 되게 지휘를 잘하는 것 같아 확실히.
I mean, this game overall, he didn't really make any mistakes. Any other top laner would have ended up under that tower about to get dove. So just unfortunate that C9 managed to let.
이거 싸움 걸어야 돼요. 예.
전멸.
아 전멸이 아까 빠졌지. 아 그게 그대로 또 이게 이거를 또 못 넘기고 이렇게 되네요. 이걸 못 넘기네 또. 많이 아프다 근데. 아 잘 피했고요. 바드 궁극기.
It is so hard. It's so hard to cast that from that distance. You really want to be 1.5 screens at max because otherwise
근데
you could actually
또 되게 C9한테 다행인 거는 용 시간이 충분히 남아 있어 아직.
Panic flash, but your max is 1 screen and a half distance because otherwise you could just dodge it.
Yeah, and the play is dead at this point.
Yeah.
그리고 지금 인카네이션 하는 거 보니까는 거리 조절이 상당히 잘 되고 있거든요 오늘. 무는 게 좀 쉽지가 않을 것 같아 아마.
Gotta really watch out when they're going through chokes. It's not exactly the tankiest team ever. I mean, Gnar obviously is going to be a bit of a force to be reckoned with, but still, he hasn't gone for the tankiest build.
And the game might actually get very explosive in the next 5 minutes because both these supports seem to be building towards the Zeeks.
I think you might be right.
He should be able to complete that probably on his next back. He has both components. Same for Kitties.
아지르 스킬 빠졌다고 지금 콜 왔죠?
Scarier 80 carry with the Zeke's Harbinger completed because of the quick burst of damage you can do. But Sivir's also
키드. 힐.
오.
네, 약간 애매해가지고 힐 썼어야 했어 이거는. 이거 뭐 한 거야 뭐야 루키. 아 이거 루키 실수죠 이거는. 예. 완전 실수지 시야가 없는데. 와 이게 안 보여? 보인다. 예, 보였어요. 싸워야 되죠. 강타 싸움하면 안 되죠. 싸워야지. 아 바드 바드가 나르를 헐. 아니 굳이 와 인카네이션 대박. 예, 이거 잘하긴 했는데 굳이 저럴 필요 있었나 싶은데 너무 위험하게 한다. 근데 이 정도면은 C9의 큰 이득. 예, C9이 이득 본 건 맞아요. 확실해요. 어쨌건 간에 아지르랑 트리스탄가 제일 마지막까지 살아남았기 때문에 경험치 다 먹었거든요. 와 근데 이런 것도 그렇고 판단이 이거 바드 궁극기가 좀 안 좋았어. 근데 솔직히 이거 바드 궁극기가 예. 와 근데 저거 그냥 먹을 거라고는 생각 아마 하기 좀 어려웠을 거예요. 저거 카카오 입장에서도. 네. 그러니까 코앞에 있는데 저기서 먹을까 설마? 이런 생각하지 당연히. 사실 카카오도 되게 번뜩이는 플레이 많이 하는 편인데 하이가 또 그 위에서 또 번뜩이는 플레이를 해주네요. 이거 바로 인드 이거는 이거 C9 와서 싸워야죠. 예, 싸워야죠 당연히. 잡았다. 일단 바드 잡았고. 자 아래쪽이 더 중요하죠. 지켜야 돼요. C9은 지켜야 돼요. 자 C9 지켜야 되고 점프. 아하! 볼즈 한 건 제대로 했네. 아이지. 트리스타나 봐봐. 이게 트리스타만 사면 돼요. 와 C9 대단하다 진짜. 그러니까 다 죽어도 돼. 원딜이랑 미드만 살리면은 2대 4가 돼도 이겨요. 조합이 그런 조합이에요. 이거는 아까도 말했지만. 그러니까 아이즈는 무조건 원딜이랑 아지르를 무조건 먼저 잡아야 되는 거고. 중국 3표 오늘. 네, 아 되게 상대 입장에서 되게 짜증 날 것 같아. 근데 계속 피해 다니고 칠 때마다. 다이러스가 그러니까 되게 못 컸는데 서폿은 이기거든. 그래도 다리우스가 아무리 그래도 서폿 머리 내려 찍고 궁극기 패시브 받고 두 번째 아야 트리스타나가 완전 프리딜이다 보니까는 트리스타나 완전 게임 쉽죠. 진짜 쉽지 게임이 저러면은. 저런 상황이 나오면은 뭐 다이아 1 원딜에도 똑같은 상황 나오죠 그냥. 팀원들이 진짜 잘 만들었어 각을.
They're in the 1v1 and then he switches with the help from Bald after executing the Sivir to the rest of the targets and nobody could challenge him at all.
And they get the dragon on top of all of that. C9.
근데 바텀이 좀 많이 약점이네요. 아이즈가 확실히.
Actually not looking to finish that Zeke, so he's just trying to get more tanky. Looks day one and Aegis before he gets that Zeke's.
Interesting choice. He's also
11을 받으려 했으면은 라인전 막 밀어가지고 CS 이득 보면 어쩌면 뭐 이기겠다고 라인전을 이기겠다고 생각하고 뽑은 조합인데.
It would put Sneaky on 95% crit chance in these fights, so
that's why we were expecting it because it's such a burst of damage.
especially combine that with Tristana's Q's. My favorite AD carry to play Zeke with, but Elimination just.
그러니까 인카네이션도 상당히 잘하는 게 솔킬을 따이긴 했는데 애초에 CS를 워낙 잘 먹어가지고 그 솔킬 따인 게 좀 많이 무마됐어요. 그리고 카카오는 오늘도 사실 그렇게 막 좋은 플레이를 많이 했다고 하기에는 뭐 아예 저번 프나틱 할 때처럼 아무것도 못한 건 아니긴 한데 하이 선수 그러니까 카카오가 무력이 좀 더 세게 플레이했다라면 하이는 더 영악하게 플레이 잘한 것 같아요. 그리고 되게 결정적이었던 게 시비르가 아까 미드 2차 타워에서 빨피가 돼가지고 집으로 그냥 돌아갔잖아요. 그래서 나르가 텔포가 빠졌단 말이에요. 원래 그때부터 그 양날개 푸시를 본격적으로 시동해야 되는 타이밍이었었는데 그 갑자기 나르가 텔포가 빠져가지고 자기가 탑에서 다리우스를 만나면 무조건 이기는데 그거를 활용하지 못하다 보니까는 라인전 이기기가 의미가 없어지게 되고 거기서부터 이제 좀 크게 흔들렸던 것 같네요. 전적으로 봤을 때는. 자, 11레벨이 14레벨인데 스니키 트리스타나 레벨은 16레벨. 다리우스도 이제 레벨 완전히 따라잡았죠. 똑같이 CS 격차도 아까 막 70개 막 60개 이렇게 나는데 지금 30개까지 줄어들었고 CS 격차도.
The shot calling is suddenly, you know, or finally, I would say, getting kind of equalized by his ability to just simply be a good jungler too.
And for IG, they really need to buckle down and.
북미랑 유럽 팀이 설마 8강에 4팀이나 올라가는 거 아니야? 한국 3팀, 유럽 2팀, 북미 2팀, 중국 1팀. 그런 동양 서양 4팀씩이어서 밸런스 아주 딱 맞고. 안 돼요. 저게 딜이 자 이거 무조건 아지르. 안 녹아 딜이 안 녹아. 네, 그냥 이건 딜이 안 돼요. 인카네이션 끝났죠 이거 게임. 이길 수가 없죠 이제. 게임은 안 끝날라나? 루키가 안 죽어서. 게임은 안 끝나겠는데 사실상 이제 승부가 완전히 기울었죠. 와 중국 지금 성적이 좋은 팀과 성적이 좋지 않은 팀의 딱 하나 차이는 뭐냐면은 연습을 한국에서 했느냐 안 했느냐 이 차이밖에 없어 지금.
Multiple Cloud9 members for the setup, but Cloud9 turned it around.
And they changed the Incarnation too against the wall. A little more damage, a little more focus from IG. He would have instantly dropped without casting a single ability that fight, but because he lived mostly due to the barrier to 20%. Which that again, look for how Lemonation overextends just a little bit. He tags Rookie, so that helps him in the fight.
You could tell Cloud9 was aggressively looking for a fight. That's why he was up like that. But then Zonia's
그러니까 이게 스킬이 계속 여기 서포트 이렇게 들어가면 안 돼요.
Stun synchronization.
그러니까 서포트를 무시하고
Survives long enough to make
원딜 미드를 잡아야 돼요 그냥.
and he just flies right into a house.
그러니까 앞에서
Kid should have flashed over.
주인공들을 위해서 쓰려져가는 그 조연들이거든요. 지금 저 친구들이 다
Entire scope of the fight and by proxy this game.
총알바지 해주면서
Hardly blame him. Sneaky's been two-shotting him for the majority of the
그냥
game.
무시하고 들어가서 바로 딜러 잡아야 돼. 그거 말고는 없어 이거는.
Out of control right now. Both him and
모든 스킬 다 쏟아가지고 다소 무리해가지고 막 빨피가 되는 한이 있어도 그렇게 해서 잡아야 이길 수 있어요.
choke points, just like the one they're walking
그렇게 해서 잡기만 하면은
minion.
그 약간 유틸리가 좋은 챔피언들로 구성되어 있기 때문에
Back off.
Crepo continues to
아 2인 바론. 자 이거 강제 싸움 시작 되겠네요. 강제 싸움. 아 브라운 봐봐 저 다리우스도 봐봐 제발 나를 때려 주시오 하면서 트리스탄을 했는데 자 그래 진작에 이렇게 했어야지 진작에 저렇게 했어야 했는데 지금 보세요 다르잖아요 봐봐. 오 루키 궁 대박. 아 조금 모자라. 루키 이렇게 해야 돼 이렇게. 예, 무조건 무시하고 들어가서 알아요. IG 선수들이 아는데 아까 안 됐던 것 뿐이야. 원래 이런 조합이에요.
Yeah, I think Rookie's a little too
Probably
quick.
not.
If he gets a little bit more mana, he can get out of here.
일단 싸우면은 당연히 볼즈가 이기긴 하는데
And this time, he's pretty fast with that 10 has has no summoner spells.
All right.
Yeah.
오.
Really doesn't get it.
Whoa! He needed to teleport back too because
No
his
kidding.
2 inhibitors were down during that, so really Cloud9 would have just had to stall. They end up getting one anyways.
But so close.
That fight was
근데
crazy.
진짜 다행인 거는 IG 선수들이 어떻게 해야 이기는지 한번 각을 봤거든요.
Going back to it.
이길 수 있네?
Almost.
라는 생각이 들 거예요 이제는.
Demise, but they have managed to hang on yet again.
C9은 이제 더더욱 앞에서 나를 때려주소 하고 브라움이랑 앨리스랑 다리우스가 앞에서 더 어그로를 끌어야 되겠죠.
Balls was able to get in the backline very easily because IG is so focused on flanking. Nothing is actually killing him, so is slightly behind state. doesn't
자
matter.
어그로를 끄느냐 끌리느냐 요
If this
싸움.
fight flashed forward to kill Sneaky.
Yeah, Sneaky was zoned off 3v1. Even with a massive buster shot, it wasn't enough to survive that fight. But right now we see another Baron setup here from Cloud9.
Yeah, the tempo is
아 바론 와 진짜 빠르긴 빠르다 근데. 자 일단 먹었어요. 카카오 어떻게 잘 가시고. 아 예 이제 아까 같은 상황 안 나오죠 이러면은. 진짜 몸빵들. 그러니까 죽어도 싸움을 벌인 다음에 자기가 맞아주면 무조건 이기니까.
Only one Nexus turret remaining. Baron empowered minions will be in 2 different waves. This could be the end of this game.
막을 수가 없겠는데요 이거 좀. 지금 싸워야 돼. 예, 이건 선택 여지가 없고 싸워야 돼요. 와 다리우스 어그로 대박. GG 중국 3패. 오 이거 전멸각 중국 이디지 빼고. 와 C9 이번 시즌 7위 하면서 강등을 겨우 면했는데 플레이오프에서 정말로 기어 올라왔죠. 기어 올라와가지고 TIP랑 붙어가지고 0대2로 지고 있다가 그거를 3대2까지 역전을 하고
Crazy to say after this game. Almost.
그러고 올라와서 한국에 와가지고 전주련 했더니만은 C9이 달라졌네.
Amazing so far. The plays he was putting out in this game were very
어쩌면 재밌네요 경기.
Can't help but wonder though that IG went. They took a